Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, welcome to the first and possibly annual purple planting party day. Today I just picked up a bunch of annuals, mainly for two reasons. For the hummingbird, which I've seen every day for the past 5 days, multiple times a day so far. And also we're hosting a baby shower here tonight. And I thought it would just be nice to fill in a few holes that I have in the landscape, mainly from tulips that I removed. So it seems like the hummingbird comes really close to the house every morning at about 6 a.m. and then sometimes I'll see it later in the day also, but it always visits this drift of catmint here and then also that drift of catmint over there in the distance. I found its nest last year over in the lilac, and I had heard that oftentimes hummingbirds build their new nest on last year's nest, but I don't even see the old nest this year. So I'm not sure where this hummingbird is living, but hopefully, and it seems like somewhere nearby. So why not give this hummingbird as much nectar as possible? So let me show you the plants we're gonna be working with today. This is just gonna be just for fun, and I hope it'll be a great day together. What we have to add into the main flower walk is a few different salvias. So the first one that I'm just gonna scatter around, because I have some in the garden already, is just a perennial salvia. I think that might be woodland salvia, but don't quote me on that. They're always for sale on the side of the road for a few dollars, and so I just pick them up here and there. And now these are the ones I'm really hoping the hummingbird will love. These are, let me look here. So this is Rockin' Deep Purple Salvia. I've never grown this specific variety. I've grown the blue suede shoes, which I know the hummingbird loved that one, and a few others, but this one looks so pretty in the nursery. There was a few in full bloom, and so I thought I'll add 3 here and also 3 here in my grandma's garden, looking back toward the entrance. And I'm really trying to get my garden to a place that if you removed all the annuals for cutting, you'd still be left with a cohesive look. And the color palette that I'm trying to go with to ground the whole garden this year and in the years to come is green, lime green, and purple. So these are plants that, will always be in the landscape. I'm not going to cut from them. And if there's one year where something happens and I'm just not able to grow cut flowers for one reason or another, the landscape can still kind of hold its own with this color palette and hopefully the rhythm and the repetition that I'm trying to accomplish here. Although, it's always a work in progress and there always feels like there's so much more to be done. And I think especially this year with my grandma's garden, I desperately want it to come together, but to be honest, I really don't feel like it's coming together and I'm not really sure why. So I think I just have to let go of the thought that it's going to come together this year. And whenever it does come together, that's the right time for that garden to kind of sing its best song or live its best life, if you will. So I just couldn't resist this clematis at my girlfriend's nursery. This one is called Still Waters. So I have some lambs here, a Weigela, some gorgeous Amsonia, lady's mantle, hosta, and the catmint is something I'm really trying to repeat everywhere just to kind of latch onto that rhythm and repetition idea. And then on the left side of the main flower walk, I added in this Baptisia the other day. I believe this is Blue Shadow Baptisia. And then just once again at a roadside stand, I picked up another one of these perennial salvias to just tuck in here. And I think what I really need to do back in my grandma's garden is to get a lime colored shrub back there, probably a lime colored evergreen because there's also no evergreens back in that garden, and just make sure I'm repeating some of these earlier plantings back there so it feels a little bit more like it belongs with the main flower walk rather than its own separate garden, which is how it's always functioned in previous years. So that's what's on the agenda for today. So I think let me just go inside and get Grace because I can hear her crying in there to come out, and we'll just get all these things planted and then take a look around. But before we get started, I have to show you something really special over here in the driveway garden. This is a peony that is directly from my grandmother's garden. I dug it up probably 10 years after her passing. Last year it only put on 1 bloom, and this year it's giving me at least, I would say, 9 to 11 blooms. I'm not gonna cut any of them. I just wanna enjoy how beautiful they are out here. If you have any idea what variety this is, please let me know. I am dying to know what the variety is. I'm thinking maybe it's My Love. It's definitely an early variety. Light pink petals around the edges with a really, really ruffly center. And check out this also in the driveway garden that just bloomed. This is another new iris called October Splendor. And then this one is called His Royal Highness. This one I really, really love, and I think I'll order some more of His Royal Highness for next year. October Splendor I like, but I think I like Concertina better that I showed you the other day. And I'm not sure on this light purple variety. It's a really big variety, and my friend gave it to me from his garden. But I'm really loving all the irises right now. How about you guys? There's some more peonies blooming over here, and I'll have to look through my notes to see what this one is, because I ordered a bunch of new ones last year, and I kind of took pictures of what was located where. And here's some more of that Concertina over in the driveway garden. Doesn't it look awesome right next to this tricolor beach? All right, now we better get to planting. Okay, Grace, here I come. Yeah, you can come out. So let's kick off this purple planting party by getting the Rockin' Deep Purple Salvia in the ground. It says that the salvia grows 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. And I remember from growing the blue suede shoe salvia that it kind of just sits there for about the first month, and then when things heat up, it really does take off. So I spaced mine about 18 to 20 inches apart, and I do anticipate needing to maybe prune it back, say late July into August, but that'll be totally fine. They seem to respond really well to pruning back if necessary, and just put on even more flowers whenever you do so. Some people have asked me how I keep Grace out of the garden, and if you have any tips on that, let me know, because as you can see, I don't really succeed at keeping her out of the garden very well. Now I'm going to be planting the Still Waters Clematis up this new obelisk from Plow and Hearth. It's a 7-foot obelisk, and since Still Waters grows 7 feet tall and 3 feet wide, I thought it would be ideal for this size obelisk. So now we're back at my grandma's garden planting 3 more of those Rockin' Deep Purple Salvias, and Grace, of course, is keeping out a watchful eye for me. I have a lot of purple back here in this garden, and you know, it's definitely going to be a work in progress for maybe many years to come. I'll just try my best to enjoy the process and not worry too much about the end result at this time. So now that I have all of my new purple plants in the ground, I'm gonna work on a peony centerpiece for tonight. It's just gonna be something really simple. I'm just gonna do a hand-tied arrangement and put it in a large mason jar. But I thought you might like to see some of the flowers that I picked earlier this morning. For our focal flower, we're gonna be using these Festiva Maxima peonies, and also these gorgeous Coral Charm peonies. This is the first year I was able to pick any Coral Charm. It's their 3rd year now in the ground. I also just picked some flowers from Coral Bells. I also picked some rhododendron, a few different kinds of 9-bark. This one is a little more airy. I think this is the Summer Wine Black 9-bark. Seems to have a little more room in between the leaves, whereas the Tiny Wine, you can see the leaves are a little bit more close together. I picked some anemones for us. These are Decon Sylphid. I went ahead and picked some of our Snapdragon cuttings. And then just a few airy fillers, things like, oh goodness, look at Rocky. I think he's gonna be joining us for the bouquet making, but just a few fun textural ingredients like bleeding heart and Orlea and such. So let's just get this together. Oh, and bachelor's buttons. Rocky, are you wanting to help? So for a market style bouquet or a handheld bouquet, I like to start with a really strong stem for the middle, and then I just build from there. So I'll come in with a really strong stem of Festiva Maxima, and this was picked this morning in marshmallow stage, and you can see it's already fully open, just being in a room temperature area. Then I think I'll come in with this beautiful bridal pink snapdragon. And I just like to hold the ingredients away from me. I find that that's a little bit easier for me to just work a spiral that way. Come in with some of that gorgeous 9 bark. This is my favorite time of year to use 9 bark. Come in with some anemone. And then once I have about 5 ingredients in my hand, I just give it a slight turn, and then I just continue to build in the same exact manner. A little bit of sparkle with that coral bells. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to cut the coral charm very deeply, so this is gonna have to be a shorter bouquet in the end. So I'll bring in that coral charm. That's looking great. Some more foliage here from the 9 bark. I picked a little bit of forsythia, and I think I'll save that for the very end, just for greening up around the arrangement. But I'm just so happy with these snapdragon cuttings, and I wasn't really anticipating filming making this arrangement, but I thought it might be nice to make it with you guys since we did kind of go through that whole process with this snapdragon together. And I think I did take some footage of cutting the snapdragon, but basically I cut it so that it'll be able to branch and produce more flowers for us. So are you guys having really crazy weather where you are? It's about 75 degrees right now, but tomorrow it's supposed to get up to 95, and then the next day I think is 92. So all my peonies are probably going to need harvested 3 times a day, or maybe even 4 times a day come tomorrow. I wasn't sure if I would like these Decon Sylphid anemones because I've only ever grown the blue variety before, but I am really impressed with it, and it has really nice long stems, and the corms were really not expensive. So I think I actually will grow those in the future. You know, I love doing all kinds of arrangements, but there is something about just doing a hand-tied bouquet that's just so much fun. What do you guys think? Do you have a favorite type of arrangement to make? Do you like to do kind of more elaborate compote designs? Do you like to stick one ingredient at a time in a vase? I'm always interested how people enjoy building their arrangements and what works best for them. I'm not really sure why, but this hand-tied situation is one that I just really, really enjoy. And I never feel stressed out. Sometimes when I'm making a compote arrangement, I think I'm really hard on myself, and I often will make it and take it apart and make it again. But when it comes to these spiraling bouquets, you just start spiraling, don't stop, and then whatever you end up with, right? And it's just good fun. So that's all my ingredients. So now I'll just green up around the neck here with some forsythia. And this is something my grandma taught me to do. And interestingly, I have never heard about greening up the neck in any floral design books, but I have absolutely no professional experience in floral design, so maybe this is really common and I just don't know about it. Please let me know in the comments about that. But she would always talk about greening up the neck, basically kind of hiding your stems where they meet the flower head. Well, there it is all done. What do you think? Does it look good from where you're sitting? So now I'll just trim down these stems, and I have a pint mason jar right here. I had to switch my sunglasses because Gracie got a hold of my other sunglasses while we were planting. I'm kind of using that coral charm as a guide to cut because that was my shortest stem that I was working with. There it is all done. You know, this could even work as a bridal bouquet. What do you think? Maybe bridesmaid. Maybe better to be bridesmaid. So I think now I'll just set up a little bit for the party and then I'll show you around the garden. So I think we should be good for tonight's party. Let's take a quick look around at some new things that have started to bloom. I'm not really sure how they're gonna set things up. They're bringing their own food and decorations. I just, had to provide the garden. So here's that arrangement that we just made. Oh, so wonderful to have peonies again, isn't it? Now check out these alliums that started to bloom here in the main flower walk. Still lots of peonies to come into bloom over there. But these alliums are called Pinball Wizard. I thought they were going to be a bit bigger than they are. Let me put my hand up next to it for you. I kind of thought they were going to be as big as my hand. I mean, they're still really, really beautiful. But sometimes it's really hard to tell in photographs online how things are going to look in real life. Wouldn't it be awesome if we saw the hummingbird right now? That might be wishful thinking, right? These ambassador alliums haven't bloomed yet. So here's the annual Salvia. I haven't seen the hummingbird on it yet, but I did see her again earlier on the catmint. I see some of my Siberian iris have started to bloom also. These are also from my grandma's garden. They went to my grandma, to my mom, to me. I used to have a really, really big clump kind of over there, and I've started to divide it and move it around, once again trying to work on that rhythm and repetition idea. So I tried to just kind of gently wind the clematis around the obelisk. So we'll see how that works out. But I do love all the different textures right here. Here's the annual Salvia back in my grandma's garden. Looks like we could use some more water back here. But I'm just really, really hoping the hummingbird comes back here, because wouldn't it be so awesome to be sitting in my grandma's chair and to be able to see the hummingbird that close? Here's a quick update on how the ranunculus are looking. I need to come in here and weed again. But you can see some are starting to bud up. And with these 95 days in the forecast, it's probably going to push everything faster than I would like, but what can you do? So it should be any day now for these. And I did randomly lose one plant over there, and I'm not sure why. You can see it just kind of died all the way back down to the ground there. So, you know, it happens. Just take it out. So that's how things are looking around here at the moment. Probably not too much has changed since the last time you saw the garden. I did go ahead and buy one of those Dynatraps that is supposed to handle the mosquitoes, and I will definitely let you know if that works or not, because if I can wear shorts out here come July, that's going to be a complete game changer. I had heard about the Dynatrap when I was listening to the No-Till Flowers podcast. It was the Dahlia episode with Cozy Town Flowers, which is a really, really great episode to check out. But she was talking about that the Dynatrap really saved her, and the only problem she had was that she had trouble changing the light bulb when it went out, that, you know, it must be faulty somehow and it's really hard to change the light. But for about $80, which is what it cost me, even if it only lasts 4 months and it actually works, I don't even care if I can't change the light bulb after 4 months, because I have tried literally every natural spray in the book, and I mean, I get bit on the face and through my pants. It is really crazy. Do you guys have that problem? There was even one year when I tried to take all the vitamins they recommend so that you didn't give off the smell that mosquitoes like garlic and vitamin B and everything. So I'll definitely let you guys know if the Dynatrap is a game changer or a flop. Well guys, thanks so much for spending some time with me today in the garden. It's really so great to just chat back and forth with you guys. I'm so glad to know that there's other people that are so passionate about gardening and cut flowers. It's just really nice to feel like you're not alone in kind of what really makes you happy and brings you joy in life. And I have to tell you guys that I just really appreciate so much your comments, the likes and everything. Of course it helps the video, but to be honest, it's just so nice to feel like we're all in a gardening club together. I hope you feel like that too, like we're just all in this big supportive kind of cut flower gardening club together. So guys, I guess that brings me to the end of the video. I really need to take care of this serious hat hair situation that's going on before the party. So I want to wish you a great day, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.